All right, we'd like to conduct our Lafayette Parish Council meeting today. At this time, I'd like to go ahead and ask fellow council members, Councilman Gilbo to lead us in a prayer and Councilman Carlson to lead us in the pledge.
Let us bow our heads in prayer. Dear Lord, sometimes we just do not have the words, so I hope you can hear our hearts today. See the best in us as we deliberate. Give us the strength of your love, the wisdom of the wise to make fair, just decisions, that we do your will always with the citizens of Lafayette Parish in mind. Thank you, Lord, for all those assembled today in this meeting room. Stand by our side as our protector so that we may know your peace. Lord, hear us and protect us, especially during this most trying time with the COVID-19 pandemic hanging over us. Thank you, Lord. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Councilman Gilbo. Thank you, Councilman Carlson. Appreciate it. We'd like to welcome the public to our Lafayette Parish Council meeting. It's glad to be here, glad to be back. I hadn't been here since I'd got married and went on a honeymoon, and ever since I came back, it's been social distancing and everything else. So we're going to make the best of it, and want to just tell those out there that are watching that we appreciate you, and may God bless you all and continue to stay safe as we move forward through this process. All right, we'll get started. We welcome you to the Parish Council meeting. As presiding officer and chair, I'd like to announce the following. This is a public hearing. To address the council on any item on this agenda, please call 337-291-8428 prior to the reading of the agenda item, or you will not be given an opportunity to speak. When calling, only give your name, a callback number, and the agenda item. Once the applicable agenda item is read during the meeting, staff will call you back to speak in order that your request was received. Staff assistance is available if needed. When addressing the council, we ask that you state your name and title for the official record. We do have a 5-minute rule which will be in effect. There will be no debating or confrontational statements that will be allowed. The front row to my left is for media only. All media video equipment must remain behind the red lines. Food and drinks are not allowed in the auditorium. We ask that you please silence all phones and electronic devices. Meeting procedures are by resolution and not by Robert's Rules of Order. All documents with reference to meetings can be found on our LCG website. And finally, the council encourages your involvement in boards and commissions. If you're interested, we ask that you call 291-8800. I will move along now into chair announcements. I would like to remind all that due to the stay-at-home order and to ensure compliance with requirements set forth in the executive order, there was no joint meeting. All items needing approval by both councils have been placed on the individual meeting agendas. Also, if you call 337-291-8428, again, that's 291-8428, prior to the call of the item, you will be contacted to speak during the public comment portion of this agenda for which you have signed in to speak. As far as for myself, any chair announcements? None. At this time, I will go ahead and open the floor if we have any council announcements. Councilman Gilbo, you have the floor.
Mr. Chair, I just want to take a minute to give a big shout out to a very special group headed by ladies Kay, Tina, and Jerry with the Cajun Support Military Group, and they gather once a month to collect and distribute care boxes to our troops all across the world. I just love their motto, military proud, Cajun strong. Thanks, ladies, for your work and support of our military. God bless you.
Great. Yep, they're out of Scott, Louisiana.
Yes, they're out of Scott. Yeah, yes, sir.
Absolutely. I happen to.
Good group.
They're great. It's a great cause what they're doing.
Yeah.
So, okay. Thank you. Councilman Rubin, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Chair. On this evening, I want to thank everyone because times like this shows what we are made of. You have many groups. I can't sit here and name them all because I know I'll miss a few of them because there's so many out there doing great things in this community to help our community to get through this pandemic. So I want to thank them from the council up here and everybody. And I want to let them know that we need to continue to help everyone in this community at this time. Instead of looking for us all the time to come up with the solution, sometimes we need you guys to give us a feedback so we can know, because y'all might have a better answer than us. Because we're in uncharted waters right now. So if you see me sinking, grab me, pull me to the side, and we're going to do the same thing for you guys. And we don't know everything. I know I don't know everything. I just learned something yesterday from the 211 that we have all kind of sites that's been going on. So we don't know it all. So we asking you guys, call the 211 number if you have any questions, and continue to help your neighbors. And I know I don't know it, and you look at all these people up here, and we've been getting bashed. Why y'all not doing this? We don't have all the answer. As I say, we're in uncharted waters, and we as a community, we come together to make things happen, and we'll get through all of this with God's grace. Thank you for tuning in tonight.
Okay, thank you so much. Councilman Carlson, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Really, I just wanted to take a moment to express my appreciation to you, Mayor President, really for your leadership, you and your administration over this last month. Really, I think you've set the example in the state as far as how to respond to this. I did some calculations earlier today. I'm a numbers guy. We see 1.7% of the total cases of COVID in the state here in the parish, and only 1.2% of the deaths that we've seen statewide in the parish. And I think in part that's due to the response of you and your administration, your swift and thorough response. I appreciate your daily press briefings, and I look forward to seeing that same kind of leadership as we transition into this next phase of how do we address the economic impact, the openings of businesses in a safe but appropriate way, and the revitalization of the economy. So I appreciate your leadership in the past, or this past month and a half, and just wanted to commend you on that. Thank you so much for everything.
Cool deal. I'd like to echo the same thing. I'm just curious, when will you think hair places can start cutting hair? Because like, I can't, this mop right here is just, it's just not working, Hold on. I gotta get you on this. Get him on the record. Okay. Yeah.
Clippers upstairs, chair that we can kind of experiment on each other if you'd like.
Yeah.
From a socially distant mask and
Absolutely. And gloves.
Maybe just the mirror.
Yeah.
I joked with the media, but it was for any joke to have any humor, there has to be an element of truth to this. And literally, I nicked my left ear the other day trimming around. But we'll get through it though.
Yeah,
we'll
absolutely.
get through it.
Yeah, I mean, just please do a press conference when you can say people can get haircuts, because I think it's going to be a great day.
No, we'll do it jointly. All of our approval ratings will go through the roof.
All right. Hey, no, all jokes aside, though, thank you for everything. I do echo the words that Councilman Carlson said. Your administration and team has done a great job controlling things and communication lines open, and I think that's a great thing. So,
Thank you.
Councilman Brian Tabor, you got the
I
floor.
also echo, especially on the haircut thing.
Well, first off, you just regular clippers will cut your hair, man.
No, as I sent you an email, I think text earlier in the week, you're doing a great job. I commend you and your staff, because I see them out there on the press conference too, and everybody's doing, going above and beyond, I think, in the call to duty. Thank you.
All right. Councilman Gilbo.
And certainly I offer my ditto to all the comments, Mr. Mayor, you and your staff. But I do want to acknowledge the medical personnel who have been on that front line, who have worked tirelessly, making sure that we do have a safe community. All of the activities that took place at the Cajun Dome, unbelievable activities and so well organized. And a big shout out to the Robichaux Center crew. Great crew, your firemen, your police, mayor and his staff, and all the park folks, great job. To see the smiles on those individuals when they actually receive those lunches and drive off with those kids, I mean, it's really heartwarming. So I certainly compliment you, and the whole entire community has rallied, but it's under your leadership, and thanks, Josh. Appreciate you.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, at this time, we're going to go ahead and move over to the Executive Mayor President's Report. I'd like to recognize President Givering at this time, and you got the floor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. And gentlemen, thank you for those kind words and your partnership. You know, and like any success the administration has, it's due to the wonderful people that we have in the administration. I have one really hardworking person sitting behind me, our CAO, Sidra Wingirder. So while I appreciate the compliments, and I sincerely do, that's those compliments are going to be echoed to my wonderful CAO, our wonderful CAO, and also to the rest of our administration. Also, thank you for your partnership. You know, I really appreciate it. I see you guys out there. Ms. V, thank you. Veronica Williams for all that you do too, and to the council, both councils, wonderful staff to make this happen. You know, there's a lot of municipalities across our country right now that have shut down. You know, they don't have the council meetings, and look, and that's not a knock on anybody, but it's more of a compliment to what you guys are doing, both council staff, and just a good team effort in Lafayette Consolidated Government. So thank you guys. So back to business. The budget to actual was emailed to you. If you have any questions, Director Tubes asked that you email her or give her a call. She can answer them. Also, I want to thank you for this opportunity to report on the administration's activities. I have my notes here to pass on to you. I thought it might be appropriate to catch up since we hadn't met in over a month. So between March 18th and April 15th, 2,011 vehicles have come through the Cajun Dome screening site, which is a remarkable accomplishment due to our healthcare providers. Thank you to Our Lady of Lourdes, Lafayette General, to the National Guard, our police department, our fire department, our frontline heroes. Thank you, guys. 646 individuals were screened out in our community, and 1,365 were tested. We had some wonderful members of SWLA at our press conference today who's still actively screening and really testing. So we call it screening testing. That particular group is being extremely proactive. They're on Patterson Street on the north side. They're still going strong. We posted their hours of operation on Lafayette Consolidated Government's Facebook page, so I encourage all of our constituents out there watching and tuning in to please take advantage of these testing sites throughout our parish. But that's just one that comes to mind, and they're really extremely active, and it's free, so it doesn't cost anything. You can drive through, you can walk up. It's the ladies over there and gentlemen are extremely helpful and proactive. We've also distributed more than 6,850 meals to date at the Robichaux Center. So special thanks to Drew and Brittany Breeze and the Breeze Dream Foundation, who's funding these operations. Those meals are not paid by taxpayers' dollars. They're paid by a private sector individual. And not only is he the greatest quarterback ever to play in the game, but he's also a wonderful human. And his thing, he's not watching? No, he's watching. He tuned in. Drew, thank you. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. WWL.
That's it. Extremely. You don't think he looks forward to the Lafayette Parish Council meeting? Okay, I know he does. But just a shout out again to our Lafayette Consolidated Government frontline workers that are there, Parks and Recs, other departments, community development. Again, Ms. V, our parish council members, I feel you, I see you out there. Thank you for joining. I know you can't always make it, but the times that you do make it, we do appreciate it from the administration, also our community as well. And just a reminder, there's a lot of nonprofits out there that are doing great things in our community. This particular initiative is to supplement all those good efforts. So if you find yourself in the community, if you find yourself unemployed or underemployed due through no fault of your own as a result of this COVID-19 public health emergency, we urge you to come down to the Robichaux Center. There's no shame in it. You come get your meals. We officially open at 11, but if traffic starts to get backed up, as you guys have seen, we'll start a little early. So we encourage everyone to get there a little early. Most of the time, we have to limit the meals to 2 per vehicle. There's some times, depending on the supplies, we might be able to get a little bit more. But don't be ashamed. Please join us. Also, during this time, we've had dozens of meetings and calls with our medical task force. We've held almost daily calls with Lafayette Parish mayors to discuss parish status, best practices, and disseminating information from the governor. Twice a week, we've had calls with in addition to the Acadiana Planning Commission, with a group of over 30 mayors and parish presidents from all over Acadiana. And we've had consistent communication with GOSEP and the governor's office and several calls with our legislative delegation. On the parish side, I do have an update on the Buchanan garage, parking garage, which I think you gentlemen would be pleased to hear about. So we estimated the total project cost at around $371,250. Thank you guys for acting so quickly over a month ago to allocate the $400,000. I'm very happy to report that $90,000 and $750 have been spent so far. So that's only 24% of what you guys allocated, and we are over 63% complete. I'm gonna let that set in. Huh? So how many times and that's a compliment to you guys. So thank y'all for acting so quickly. I'm still, look, fingers are crossed that we take, we get the remaining 37% done, and hopefully we get some engineers out there to reassess the situation. And you never know. You keep your fingers crossed, say some prayers, and might be able to put that thing back into commerce with very minimal effort there. So, but we're prepared for anything, and you guys are too. So thank you. And Mr. Chair, that's all I have to report at this time.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Through this whole COVID-19, I do have to send my condolences to Gerald Boudreaux, Parks and Recreation. Unfortunately, his daughter had passed away, and I didn't get a chance to call him or talk to him or attend the funeral, but we do know through this COVID-19 that our Parks and Recreation Director, and our condolences goes out to Gerald and his family at this time, for sure.
And Mr. Chair, also our wonderful Fire Chief Benoit lost his mother as well. So keep her in our prayers and their family.
Absolutely.
And Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
as we talk about, he was giving an update about COVID, and someone was watching a press conference earlier, and he mentioned a council meeting, so they signed in, did not wish to speak. James Eaglin Sr., he heard the press conference and wanted to state his opposition to businesses reopening, and he said as a barber, he reminded that it is very close contact with the client, and people could walk in for services just off the street. He just feels that businesses should remain closed, stating that money is not worth people dying.
Okay, thank you. We'll let that reflect for the record. Mr. Rubin?
I just wanted to help you out there a little bit, Mayor President. Sure. When you were referring to the different places that are doing the testing, I would recommend they call the 211 number. They have all the information you need. They can tell you all the testing sites. They can give you any information that you need in regards to COVID-19. 211 is the number to call. Right. That's how I got my information. It was new to me. So I recommend you guys call 211. Any questions you have. Thank you.
Okay. All right, let's get on to business. Moving now to resolutions. This is a public hearing, and blue sheets are available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 5-minute rule does apply. Cindy, can you please read?
Parish Resolution 4-2020, a resolution of the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing a non-warranty cash sale of the property at 512 Evangeline Drive to an adjoining landowner pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute 472202B for the price of the sale's anticipated costs.
Okay, need a motion and a second. So moved. Got a motion by Councilman Gilbo and a second by Councilman Carlson. Any council discussion? Seeing none. Any public comment?
No, sir?
Okay, please call the vote.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5. Yes. The motion to adopt is approved. Parish Resolution 5-2020, a resolution of the Lafayette Parish Council ordering and calling an election to be held in the Parish of Lafayette, State of Louisiana, to authorize the rededication of special taxes therein, making application to the State Bond Commission in connection therewith, and providing for other matters in connection therewith, create millage rededication.
Okay, need a motion and a second. Got a motion by Councilman Tabor and a second by Councilman Carlson. Any council discussion? Seeing none. Any public comment?
Oh, wait, hold on. Mr. Chair, we do have two speakers.
Okay.
The first of which is William Teeley. Mr. Teeley, you may begin speaking. Wait. Hold on, William. Okay, now go ahead.
is my councilman. Thank you to him and thank you to everybody. My comment today is about the rededication of the CREATE funds. And I'm not opposed to it. I would encourage you to vote in favor so it can be put on the ballot for the people to decide. I would like to offer an idea that an amendment should be made that none of the money should be rededicated for unincorporated fire protection. And my reasoning for that is because as a City of Lafayette resident who pays this parish property tax, I don't really need any more fire protection. I'm covered. And this is true for all the people that live in the parish of Lafayette that have fire protection. I think only the people who live in the unincorporated parts of the parish who need fire protection should be paying that. So my amendment would be the rededication to the unincorporated, to the fire protection component should be instead rededicated to the parish general fund. It concerns me that our parish general fund is hurting for funds. It couldn't even afford to do the maintenance on the South Buchanan Street parking garage. So I would like to see an amendment made to, I think it's 0.175 mils, instead going to fire protection in the unincorporated areas to instead go to the parish general fund. Thank you for letting me speak, and stay safe, everybody. And I appreciate everyone's effort, especially the mayor, president, and the administration, to help battle the pandemic. So.
Thank you. Before you go to the next speaker, I would just like to comment on that. And I thank him for calling in, and he brings up a great point. The one thing that is important for the facts to be known is parish-wide fire protection affects all municipalities, and it affects the city of Lafayette. And it does so because for years we haven't had the proper fire protection parish-wide. So what that means is when a fire breaks out in the unincorporated area, the city of Lafayette is sending a fire truck and a whole crew to drive all the way over there to fight that fire. And if another fire should break out, then that side of Lafayette, it puts a strain on them. Not to mention, the city of Lafayette is losing money because they're having to leave town to go put out a fire in the unincorporated area. But the one thing about rededicating this, these other municipalities are also suffering because they're having to subsidize their own tax dollars to help fund their own fire department in which they're responding in other areas. So the rededication does two things. It allows everybody to participate in fire protection parish-wide. It's not just the unincorporated area that's hurting for fire protection. When these municipalities are leaving their own place to travel to put out another fire, should another fire break out in Dusson or Scott, their town is left empty-handed with no fire department. So it makes a great point. The thing about going to the general fund is the general fund, there's no guarantee where the money's going to go. And quite frankly, I just feel that when you look at priorities parish-wide, who benefits from this rededication? It's everybody, including the city of Lafayette, Dusson, Broussard, Carencro, all of these towns that are taking their own tax dollars. They're already paying for it. This also allows the unincorporated area to participate in fire protection. I think it's a win-win. I do appreciate the comments, and I feel that the general fund sounds great, feels great, but that money would be spent in no time because of all of the other needs we have. And people in the parish are suffering with higher insurance rates, lack of response, no personnel, out-of-date equipment. So that was the concept behind trying to fix something, not trying to just let one set of people pay for it. It's exactly what it is. We have a Lafayette Parish Fire District, so everybody would benefit in this as well. So that's my comments. Next speaker.
Mr. Chair, the next speaker is Jackie Lau. You can go ahead, Ms. Lau.
Good evening, I urge all of you, especially Mr. Gilbo, who represents my district, to vote no today on the proposed election to rededicate the Create millage to roads and fire protection in the unincorporated areas of Lafayette Parish. As you likely know, the voters in these unincorporated areas voted against the millage to fund fire protection and roads. Now their homeowners' insurance has increased because of the fire rating loss. This is a problem of their own making. The proposed rededication would force the entire parish to pay this millage. City property owners already pay multiple millages for fire and roads. Why would anyone propose that city property owners pay this with no direct benefit in return? We are all aware that the mayor-president declared that he would do away with Create, which offers benefits for every citizen and boosts our economy through return on investment. Yes, I am in favor of Create. Yes, I contributed many volunteer hours behind the scenes to make Create the equitable resource that it was. Mr. Carlson and Mr. Rubin and Mr. Guillory all have the details of all Create expenditures through 2019. If you have not seen this spreadsheet, which details projects that were funded, actual expenditures, what the expenditures were for, and the return on investment, all of which was approved by LCG Legal Counsel, you should before you cast your vote tonight. While speaking with Mr. Carlson last night, it was clear that he did not have factual information, and I provided him with a spreadsheet that contains the details. Further, this resolution is proposed at a time when citizens cannot physically attend council meetings. It seems rather unfair and somewhat disingenuous to advance this resolution at this time. Again, I urge you all to vote no on this resolution. Thank you for your commitment to Lafayette Parish and the good work that you do. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
we did have one citizen who signed in, did not wish to speak in opposition to the resolution.
Okay.
That concludes comments.
Closed comment. Okay. Thank you. Ms. Jackie, I appreciate you calling in. We also spoke. A couple of things need to be stated, for the record. The parish, when Create was formed, it was formed under, you vote for $9 million of drainage and Create. The parish and unincorporated areas needed more drainage than they needed Create, but it was handcuffed, it was tied. That's the facts. So I feel the same way in the fact that what is Create doing for the unincorporated area? They're paying for Create. What are they getting back? What is important? What is priority? Saving lives, people's houses burning, nobody showing up. I'm a musician. I support the festivals. And our mayor president can chime in. But the conversation has been, we don't want to, and he comes from a bloodline that also is a musician, a very well-known musician. So I'm not here to hurt my festival internationals, my festival Cadians, or the arts. That I'm a musician, I'm an artist myself, okay? The last thing I want to do is hurt them. However, I think the mayor president's response to saying, hey, we're not out to stop the initiative of Create or stop the arts or stop funding things that make an economic impact. I think his wish and his goal would be to continue the initial Create, but have that being moved over to community development where those fundings for arts and festivals have been there for years. It becomes a matter of priorities. We're a parish council. What is Create doing in the unincorporated area? That's the question you have to ask yourself. The other thing is, with Create, I think the goal can still be accomplished. And I think the same funding that's in there. I mean, we have things on the books right now that are supposed to go to Parks and Recreation. I think each park gets $25,000. That's still going to happen. The improvements to what was already aligned out there, that's still going to happen. What's going to change would be if the voters decide that fire protection and roads parish-wide is the better fit for the money, then any new money coming in at that point would go to those issues. I'm not trying to hurt the festivals. I'm not trying to hurt the arts by all means. I don't think this parish council as a whole would ever do that. That's not the initial, that's not the intent. But this rededication millage wouldn't just be funding fire protection just for the unincorporated area. It would be making the municipality's fire department stronger. It would be making the city of Lafayette Fire Department stronger, because that money is now Lafayette parish-wide fire protection. So that money is not going just to the unincorporated area. That funding would help go to Scott, who volunteers, Dusson, Judy's, Milton, Youngsville, Karen Crow. So it's not like only one set of people are going to benefit from it. Now what you have is everybody participating as a parish one, Lafayette Parish 1, participating in first response. Last time I checked, if you ask somebody what is more important, fire protection, someone showing up at your house, or paying a millage for Create that doesn't go back to anybody, doesn't save a life. Those are the things you have to ask yourself. That's what I have to ask myself. It's not fun to be in this position. It's not fun to have to make these decisions, but we all know that the time and the era that we're in, people want us to be wise with the money. People want us to be smart with it. Put it in places that is going to make a difference. Fire protection is serious. Everybody has the reports. We've lost the rating. So it's not like we're taking money to go throw it at something that doesn't exist. We have issues. We have documents. We have reports. So I appreciate Ms. Jackie's phone call, and I appreciate the other caller as well. Just wanted to be clear. There's no intent to destroy, Create. Perhaps it'd be better in community development and still have the funding provided. So, Mayor President, would you like to chime in just for a second, just for any clarification?
Yes, Mr. Chair, and I want to echo what you're saying, and I want to applaud the parish council for considering this. I also applaud, I think it was Ms. Jackie that called in, right? Jackie and the other gentleman that called in, and to everyone that's similarly situated in our parish that has interest in this vote. Thank you for that. Thank you for taking the time to call in. Mr. Chair, I echo your sentiments in regards to the intent. I don't think anyone up here on the parish council, I don't want to speak for you, but I think I can safely say, I know the administration, I know the council more than likely would say, the intent behind the Create is, intent behind Create is good. We want to promote culture. We want to promote our recreation, entertainment, tourism. You know, tourism, there's I don't know what the exact ratio, but there's a pretty significant return on investment by promoting the tourism. And I would argue that Lafayette Parish has the best culture in the world to promote because of our people, not because of our government, but because of our people that the government serves. So the intent behind Create can still be satisfied. And it can be satisfied like it had been for years through the Office of Community Development. But also, Mr. Chair, the fire protection, in regards to this rededication, it's a domino effect. And in this case, it's a positive domino effect. Not only are we helping directly the unincorporated areas of the parish, but we are indirectly strengthening the fire protection within our municipalities. And the last time I checked, every square inch of the city of Lafayette and every square inch of all our wonderful other 5 municipalities and towns in this parish fall within the parish of Lafayette. Every square inch. It's remarkable. But, so we can do it. Domino effect, and the intent stays the same. It's all about priorities, though. And we are going to be faced, and we're about to enter a budgetary process, both the parish and the city, and Councilman Carlson hit it. You know, COVID-19 has created not only a public health emergency, but an economic emergency. And we got to get our priorities in order. We had to get our priorities in order before COVID-19. Now we have to get our priorities in order even more. We got to get spending under control, and if everything's a priority, nothing is a priority. Well, I will definitely stand up for fire protection for sure. So with this vote, with this rededication, we can still satisfy the intent of Create while simultaneously strengthening fire protection and improving roads within our wonderful parish. So thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to the council for your consideration. And again, thank you to our callers who took the time in to voice your opinion. This is the beautiful thing about democracy. We're all in this together. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Carlson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think something that's important to consider in direct, I guess, response to the two callers that called in is that, you know, their biggest concern was, why should we ask someone in one of these municipalities to support fire protection in the unincorporated areas? Well, right now, if you live in the unincorporated areas of the parish, every time you go and buy gas, you go to the grocery store, you buy a vehicle, you go shop, you're contributing and benefiting that municipality that you don't directly, through sales tax money, that you don't receive any benefit from. And so this is one way for the entire parish that says, yes, while you come and support us through your sales tax revenue, we're also supporting parish-wide fire protection. And so I completely agree with both the chairman and our mayor president that fire protection is a parish-wide issue. It is not just an unincorporated area issue. And I would, again, highlight the fact that if you live in the unincorporated areas, every day when you shop, you're supporting multiple municipalities, whether it's Lafayette or Broussard or Scott or Dusson, Carrico, whatever it might be. And so we're all in that together, generating sales tax revenue, which funds all the activities in those municipalities. And in part of that is the municipality, people in the municipality saying, I'm willing to support fire protection because you contribute to our city. We're all in this together. I think the mayor president's motto of one parish, one future applies to this. This whole idea of we can separate and segregate out every body and every municipality is a false assumption. And when we try to do that, we end up hurting ourselves because we end up fighting against each other. Well, this is your dollar, and that's my dollar, and that's my fire truck, and this is my sales tax and your property tax. I firmly believe that what's best for the entire parish benefits every municipality in the unincorporated areas. And this is something that's good for the entire parish, and that's why it has my support.
Thank you, sir. Did you hit the button, sir? Oh, no? You good? Okay.
Yeah.
No, another thing that just came up while Josh was speaking, and he's right, is it's those municipalities that make up Lafayette Parish Fire Protection. It's also the city of Lafayette. You combine the city of Lafayette with the Scott, Dusson, Carencro, Broussard, Youngsville. That is Lafayette Parish Fire Protection. And those citizens in those municipalities will greatly benefit by supporting this because it will make their municipality even stronger. This is not us making pie up in the sky. Please do your homework. Do the research, public. We've had town hall meetings. We did a proposition. It's a real live situation. And you can go ask your current mayor and your municipality how much are they subsidizing from their general fund to make sure that they're able to cover their own town while their fire department is out taking care of another fire. And if you haven't noticed, there's not one fire department that takes the whole call. We're sending trucks from Dusson, Scott, Carencro. Sometimes there's 4 or 5 municipalities on one fire. Now imagine if simultaneously another fire breaks out somewhere. You've got everybody coming, not to mention nobody's volunteering no more. People's got lives. Now you got COVID-19. Now volunteers are hard to come by. People are busy. It takes 2 incomes today to make it, you know? So this fire situation, let's not act like it's just a minute situation. Please come to the Lafayette Parish Association Fire Department meetings. Please go ask them what they're up against and how they're putting their lives at risk with not the proper equipment, not enough water trucks. I mean, can you imagine your house is on fire and the truck right down the road from you goes to take off and the tanker truck can't go 5 yards down the road because it's broken? Then you find out that they've been having an invoice for the parish to fix, and we don't have the money to fix it. I mean, this is reality. This is true. This is serious stuff. And I think every municipality, including the city of Lafayette, fire department, personnel, equipment, is going to improve everybody's rating. And just like you want the police to show up when you call them, I promise you, if your house is on fire, you want everybody coming. Without this, without doing something, and this is not raising anybody's taxes, people. This is something you currently paying for. So what's fair is fair. People in the unincorporated area are paying for Create. They ain't getting anything. Okay? People in Lafayette are paying for Create, but also the citizens of Lafayette are losing money every day that fire truck has to leave their station to come to the unincorporated area. It's a serious situation. I do think this is a great cause, and I think it has merit, and it might not be popular by a lot of people. But if you had to ask somebody today, what is the most bang for your buck and what means something to you, I'm sure Parish Fire-wide protection would mean more than Create. And Create's not going away. It's just going in another different department. Okay? Thank you, guys. Councilman Rubin.
Thank you, sir. You mentioned about volunteers. I just wanted to piggyback on that. All these municipalities are all volunteer, and I'm going to guesstimate 90 to 95% of them work for the city. So if there's extra money to be made at the Lafayette Fire Department, well, they're going to stay there. So that means nobody's at these municipalities. So therefore, if a fire breaks out in Broussard and the volunteer that was supposed to work that night, he's making money in Lafayette, well, then we have issues in these unincorporated areas, you know, in Broussard, the Youngsville. So it's just something else for you to think about too, you know, because everybody has to feed their family. So the volunteers are going to make that money first before they volunteer.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you. Councilman Gilbo.
I've been listening to the discussions very closely, and I certainly cannot argue with anything that has been said. I embrace everything, and as a former volunteer fireman in the community of Carencro, I can tell you the struggles that we faced and continue to face over the years in terms of trying to provide fire services, not only within the community of Carencro over those years, but throughout the parish where needed. And Mr. Chair, you're absolutely correct. When there is a fire, we will remove equipment and move it to another fire station as a backup, or we will actually go to the fire. But at the same time, back in the days, with only one truck in many cases, we left the town of Carencro unprotected. I go back to the comment that the mayor made. It's all about priorities. What are our priorities? Mr. Chair, you made the same statement. I think every one of us have made that statement. What are the priorities? I absolutely believe that this is a step in the right direction in providing that protection that we need throughout this parish. We are one, and if we can all come together and make this happen, all the more better. But these departments need assistance. They need help, and I think this is a small way of doing it. It's not the answer, but certainly it may help with the fire rating. That will happen in 2 or 3 years. It may help with the yearly insurance coverage. There's a lot of benefits to it, and I think we all can benefit as a whole community. I'm glad to hear the mayor say that, yes, Create is not going away, as it's still there. It's in community development, and those services, Mr. Mayor, are going to be provided as originally outlined. So I'm comfortable with that. It's not like we're, you know, just dissolving Create and say, hey, that's it. I agree. You know, we have so much to offer worldwide. I mean, you know, the attention is on us, and certainly we don't want to lose that, especially as we go through this pandemic. I mean, you know, we're going to be calling all these individuals, and hopefully they'll come spend the money and help with the economy. So it's painful, but at the same time, I understand the concerns out there. But as a former firefighter myself, I know the pains, I know the struggles, I know the inside workings of a fire department and what happens when you go to a fire. It's true, Mr. Rubin, we do receive some help from some of these local firemen who are full-time, but a lot of them are volunteers, and they're hard to come by. I remember getting on a truck, and there was only 2 of us, and we had a fully involved house fire. Pretty tough with only 2. But then Mom would always get on the phone and make phone calls, and all of a sudden, we had 10 or 12 additional volunteers. So all of this can be not necessarily resolved overnight, but we can start addressing some of those concerns and make it that much better. I believe in saving property and lives, and I think this is a way to do it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Got it. Thank you, sir. Mayor President?
Yeah, and I'll just echo what Councilman Gilbo had added or said, and while it may feel painful, it shouldn't be, because we have very creative minds in Lafayette Consolidated Government, and our Department of Community Development is led by Hollis Conway, who's one of the most conceptualized thinkers that I've met. Really go-getter. So this is just another example of us doing more with less. Doing more with less. We all support the intent, but let's go achieve that intent in a very fiscally responsible manner. So I appreciate you guys entertaining this in your consideration. I ask you to vote yes.
Thank you. Councilman Gilbo?
Mr. Chair, Mr. Mayor, I was really referring to the pains of the fire departments and not create. But that's all right. But I agree with your statement. Thanks for clarifying.
Okay. That's end of public comment. Council discussion. Can you please call for the vote?
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 1. Yes. The motion to adopt is approved. Parish Resolution 6-2020, a resolution of the Lafayette Parish Council granting authority to take preliminary action relative to the issuance, sale, and delivery of not exceeding $26 million of general obligation refunding bonds of the Parish of Lafayette, State of Louisiana, in one or more series on a tax-exempt or taxable basis for the purpose of refinancing outstanding debt of the issuer, providing certain terms of said refunding bonds, making application to the State Bond Commission for approval of said refunding bonds, hiring professionals in connection therewith, and providing for other matters in connection therewith.
Okay. Need a motion and a second? So moved. Got a motion by Councilman Gilbo, second by Councilman Carlson. Okay. Any public comment?
No, sir?
All right. Please call the roll.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Parish Resolution 7-2020, a resolution of the Lafayette Parish Council giving preliminary approval to the issuance of not exceeding $5 million of revenue notes in one or more series of the Parish of Lafayette, State of Louisiana, making application to the State Bond Commission for approval of and providing for the sale in certain terms of said revenue bond notes, and providing for other matters in connection therewith.
Okay. Need a motion and a second. Motion by Councilman Tabor, second by Councilman A.B. Rubin. Any council discussion? Seeing none at this time. Any public comment?
No, sir?
Please call the roll.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5, District 1, District 2,
Yes.
District 3.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved.
Okay, now we're going to move to ordinances for final adoption. This is a public hearing. Blue sheets are available for anyone wishing to address the council. 5-minute rule does apply, and also the phone number that you can call is 291-8428.
8428. And you guys don't know this, but on the bottom of there, Ustream, it's streaming the number, and on AOC as well with the channel Cox and Elia is streaming at the bottom as well, so.
Oh, thank y'all so much for that. Appreciate it. Okay, please read, Tim.
Parish Ordinance 11-2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette Parish Council recognizing and ratifying the declaration and certification of a public emergency as stated in Emergency Parish Ordinance 10-2020 due to the condition of the Buchanan Street parking garage, providing for the removal of concrete panels from the Buchanan Street parking garage, and providing for amending the fiscal year 1920 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by authorizing the use of courthouse complex funds in the parish general fund in the amount of $400,000 for the cost of such emergency work.
Okay, need a motion and a second. Motion by Councilman A.B., second by Councilman Tabor. Any council discussion? Seeing none. Any public comment?
No, sir.
Okay, let's call the roll.
District 5,
Yes.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3, District 4.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Parish Ordinance 13, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 1920 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by transferring $500,000 of prior year fund balance in the Combined Public Health Fund, Fund Number 269, to the Public Health Unit Maintenance Fund, Fund Number 266, for COVID-19 related expenses.
Motion in a second, please. Motion by Councilman Carlson, second by Councilman Gilbo. Council discussion. Councilman Carlson, you have the floor, sir.
Sure. Mr. Mayor President, do we know, I know when we asked that we're moving these funds just in anticipation of potential costs that might arise, do we know if we're going to still need that money? Have we already started to expend some of this money, and in what ways?
No, thank you, Councilman, and I appreciate that. So far to date, while this council approved the $500,000, and again, on behalf of the parish, I appreciate that. We appreciate it. We've been very fiscally prudent. The Public Health Unit Fund has been allocated just over $8,300, and we spent, let's see, $63,022.47 out of this emergency fund. So out of the $500,000, we spent the $63. I'd also want to remind your emergency declaration not only helped fund our efforts to respond, but it also helped from a logistical standpoint, because we expect a 75% FEMA reimbursement of this amount. So we appreciate your urgent response. I remember when we called it, you guys acted extremely quick. I think you had a day's notice, as did all of us. So thank you guys for everything that you're doing for our parish. I appreciate that.
Okay. Is that it, Mr. Carlson? You good? Okay. All right, any other council discussion? Seeing none. Ms. Williams, do you have any public comment?
No, sir.
All right, let's call the roll.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5. The motion to adopt is approved.
Okay, we're going to now move to joint ordinances for final adoption. This is a public hearing. Blue sheets and the phone number at the bottom of your screen is available for anyone wishing to address the council. There's a 5-minute rule that does apply, and I'd like for Cindy to go ahead and read.
Joint Ordinance 14, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 1920 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by authorizing the transfer of $87,400 in Community Development Block Grant funds within the Community Development Department to Acadiana Cares Incorporated.
Okay, need a motion in a second. Got a motion by Councilman Gilbo? Got a second by Tabor. Okay, council discussion. Seeing none. Public comment.
Alton Thornton with Acadiana Cares, he just left his number in the event you had any questions. Seeing none, he just wanted to be here if you needed him.
Okay. Call the roll.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5, District 1. The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 15, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 1920 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by transferring home grant expenses within the Community Development Department to correct grant year in order to facilitate grant closeout.
Okay, need a motion in a second. Motion by Councilman Carlson, second by Councilman A.B. Rubin in the corner. Hey, what's happening? Any council discussion? Seeing none. Any public comment?
No, sir.
Roll them.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5, District 1, District 2.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 16, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government to sell at public auction surplus vehicles, equipment, and other miscellaneous movable property which no longer needed for public purposes as per the attached list auction.
Okay, need a motion in a second. Motion by Councilman Tabor. Second by Councilman Carlson. Not seeing any council discussion. Any public comment?
No, sir.
Please call the roll.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 1, District 2,
Yes.
District 3.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved.
Okay, now we're going to move to consider appointment by the parish council as a whole to boards and commission. And I would like Cindy to please read the appointment, please.
LAC appointment to the Lafayette Airport Commission, 5 months, the remainder of an unexpired 4-year term through July 3rd, 2020, and the upcoming 4-year term effective July 4th, 2020. Applicants must reside outside of the corporate limits of any municipality in the parish of Lafayette.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to announce that the resume received for consideration is from Terry J. Hurd and not anyone else. So we need a nomination for Mr. Terry. Okay, Councilman Carlson nominates Mr. Terry Hurd and a second by Councilman Gilbo. I'm not seeing any council discussion at this moment. Is there any public comment?
Mr. Terry Hurd did call in and left his number if y'all had any questions, but seeing none. you can
Okay, please call the vote.
District 5?
Yay.
District 1? Yes. District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is, Terry Hurd is appointed.
All right, we're going to move to introductory ordinances.
was on a roll.
I'm going to ask for a motion and a second from the council to introduce these ordinance 15 through 17 in global.
So moved.
Got a motion by Councilman Gilbo, second by Councilman A.B. Rubin. Okay, please read.
Parish Ordinance 14, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette Mayor President to enter into an intergovernmental agreement between the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government and the City of Scott concerning the maintenance of Cooley-Ildacon Lateral 8C and amending the fiscal year 1920 capital budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing reimbursement revenues from the City of Scott in the amount of $90,007 and appropriating within the Public Works Department for said project. Parish Ordinance 15, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette Mayor President to enter into an intergovernmental agreement between the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government and the City of Scott concerning the Old Spanish Trail Bridge rehabilitation and amending the fiscal year 1920 capital budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing reimbursement revenues from the City of Scott in the amount of $54,500 and appropriating within the Public Works Department for said project. Parish Ordinance 16, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing the filing of applications for grant funding which may become available to address economic hardships resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic.
Okay, are there any comments from the public concerning the above introductory ordinances?
No, sir.
Okay, I'm not seeing any council discussion. Any public comment?
No, sir.
All right, please call the vote on intro.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5. The motion to introduce is approved.
Okay, now we're going to move to joint introductory ordinances. Need a motion and a second to consider introducing ordinances items 19 through 36 in global. Motion by Councilman Tabor. Second by Councilman Gilbo. Cindy, you now have to read a bunch of items.
Joint Ordinance 12, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the Lafayette Advisory Commission on Crime Prevention. Joint Ordinance 13, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the Downtown Management Committee. Joint Ordinance 17, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council, amending the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government Code of Ordinances, Chapter 72, Property Management, specifically Article 2, Management and Disposition of Adjudicated Properties, particularly Section 72-19D, Preferences of Disposition of Property, and Section 72-40F, Initiation of Donation of Adjudicated Property. Joint Ordinance 18, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the Hyman Performing Arts Center and Film F. Bustaning Convention Center Advisory Commission. Joint Ordinance 19, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the Lafayette Parish Convention and Visitors Commission. Joint Ordinance 20, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the People's Safety Initiative. Joint Ordinance 21, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the Lafayette Economic Development Authority. Joint Ordinance 22, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the Lafayette Parish Bayou Vermilion District. Joint Ordinance 23, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the Lafayette Parish Library Board of Control. Joint Ordinance 24, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the Lafayette Natural History Museum and Planetarium Commission. Joint Ordinance 25, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the Lafayette Metropolitan Expressway Commission. Joint Ordinance 26, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council amending and reenacting Chapter 34, Article 4, Section 34-366 of the Noise Control Code to provide a sound level limit 60.00 dBA in residential areas between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. for sewer treatment plant, sewer lift station, and electric substation and switchyard sound sources in the city of Lafayette and the unincorporated areas of Lafayette Parish. Joint Ordinance 27, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 1920 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by authorizing the transfer of $325,000 in home investment partnerships funds within the Community Development Department to Lafayette Habitat for Humanity. Joint Ordinance 28, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council amending Chapter 97 of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government Code of Ordinances to change the weed and noxious growth maintenance requirements, notice provisions, and fee schedule for properties within the city of Lafayette and the unincorporated parish of Lafayette. Joint Ordinance 29, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the Evangeline Thruway Redevelopment Team. Joint Ordinance 30, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the Lafayette Preservation Commission. Joint Ordinance 31, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the Lafayette City Parish President's Awareness Committee for Citizens with Disabilities. Joint Ordinance 32, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the Municipal Fire and Police Civil Service Board.
Okay. Any comments from the public concerning the above introductory ordinances?
Mr. Chair, we did have one citizen who did not wish to speak, who called in to support item number 30, which is the code change with reference to the sewer treatment plant. He's in support.
Okay. At this time, we have council discussion. Council Carlson, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm going to vote yes on these today as they are introductory items, but I know I've expressed a little concern to a few of you guys, and I wanted to have some time to reach out to Ms. Hebert on the City Council concerning some of the specifics of the changes to the weed and noxious growth maintenance requirements. I think some of the proposed amendments are a little extensive, or go a little further than what I'd like to see, and as it stands today, I would not approve this in 2 weeks, but I'm going to work with Ms. Hebert over the next couple of weeks and see if we can find some middle ground to satisfy those.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you, sir. Councilman Gilbo, you have the floor.
And as a follow-up to what Councilman Carlson has just stated, more specifically, I would be concerned about the grass height. Whatever we do on private property, I think there needs to be some conformity with what's required of us as a parish. So keep that in mind.
Okay. Great points. Okay. Ms. Williams, do you have any public comment?
No, sir.
Okay. Let's call the roll for the items in Global 19 through 36.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5, District 5,
Yes.
District 1. The motion to introduce is approved.
Okay. We'd like to go ahead and adjourn the regular parish council meeting at this time, and we thank you citizens for tuning in, and God bless each and every one. Stay tuned as the Lafayette City Council gets prepared for their meeting. God bless you.